Hi guys, so today I am extremely jet lagged and tired and just kind of sick. Just got out of the shower, so yeah. Hopefully this will be a kind of short video. I am, like I said, jet lagged and tired and a little sick. Today I want to talk about my history with medication and my struggles through that, and what I've been on in the past, what I'm on now, my experiences with all the types of medication, which I have literally been on every single type of medication there is. So let's talk about when I first got into therapy and medication management back in 2011. So back then, I was depressed and I was severe into anorexia, which I'll talk about in a different video, my struggle with eating disorders. But they didn't put me on, when I first had my original medication appointment, they didn't put me on any medication. They sent me to the hospital for suicidal thoughts and not eating. So they sent me there, and my original doctor put me on, well, my original doctor is my doctor now because she moved on from the hospital and is now in outpatient and residential. So yeah, she originally put me on Trileptal, and that's the only medication that I remember. I think it was just Trileptal, which didn't really work for me, so I continued to have suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. So they put me in residential, and I stayed there for quite a long time. They took me off Trileptal, and they saw my full spectrum of what could happen when I was off medication. So by then I was on a ton of medication. By the time I got out of that residential 7 months later, I was on, well, first off they put me on Abilify and Zoloft, and I was continually staying up all night, creating these grand vacations that I couldn't possibly ever go on, but I expected my parents to take me on. And I would talk to them about it all the time on the phone, and I would think of ways to get money. Like, I was creating these, I wouldn't just say, oh, I'm going to make this phone conversation with these people. I wrote out every single thing that I'd talk about. I can go get my journal right now. Hold on. Yeah, so, okay, this was the journal from residential. As you can see, I started out with Disney World plans. I planned out our itinerary. That was the times, the exact times of when we'd eat. Every math calculation without a calculator, adding up to about $4,804. Things to pay out of pocket for that I wanted to buy, and the cost of each one of those. I figured out the tips that we'd have to pay for the dinners. I wrote things to research when I got out of there. I planned out, when I grow up, which place I'd stay at for each vacation. I did the autographs I want. And this was all at 3 a.m. Yeah. Let's see, where's the... Oh, I studied online when I was on my pass, again at 2 a.m., what ratings each restaurant had there. Sorry, I'm just trying to find, like, here's some more math, which probably is not correct, of course, but I attempted. In crayon, of course. Yeah, more math, alternative restaurants. Oh, when I went to the parks, what's the exact things I do? Oh, the things I wanted to eat when I was there. Which I didn't understand because I was anorexic at that time, and of course by then I hadn't eaten in like 3 days, so when I wrote most of this, or something like that, I wasn't eating most of the time I was there. So, I don't know, it just goes on and on. What I mostly want to find is, okay, here it is. Hey Grandpa, how are you? Good. And he's gonna say good. So my dad is taking me on a vacation with his wife, and after what I've put everyone through, I really wanted to do something nice and get them a good hotel on the trip, since they could be having a honeymoon, which they were gonna have a honeymoon. I just expected them to take me to Disney World, and I thought in my head that of course this was gonna happen. This was but instead they're taking a family vacation to Disney. So do you think I could get some chores around your house to raise money? And I wrote this out and the dollar amount I wanted him to pay. Yeah. Oh, then of course I decided to create my own restaurant within the park. And I started drawing out the costumes I wanted for that. More math. Yeah. So there's that. So anyway, going back to that, I would stay up and the doctors were like, oh, let's put her on melatonin, you know, she'll sleep. I did not sleep on melatonin. They had me up to about 9 milligrams, and they're like, what is going on? Like, most people only sleep on like 3 milligrams. She's like 13, 14 years old. Like, this isn't quite normal. We don't think she just has depression. Well, they didn't think I had depression in the beginning, but they didn't really know how severe it was, because at the time I didn't really know what to tell them. Like, I didn't know what symptoms were abnormal and what symptoms were like normal. So, sorry, this piece of hair keeps falling. So I kept like not telling them. Like, I'd just say, yeah, I get like really happy sometimes, but sometimes I get really sad, and that's all so they're like, oh yeah, it's not that serious, like we don't know. But when I was in residential, I got to see how bad it was. Wow, I'm already up to 5 minutes. Okay. So they put me on Seroquel along with Abilify and Zoloft. I was on 200 milligrams of Zoloft, 20 milligrams of Abilify, and they added me on 100 milligrams of Seroquel. Yet, I still was not sleeping. 200, not sleeping. 300, not sleeping, etc. All the way up to 800 milligrams. They finally got me to sleep. And at that point, I was on 800 milligrams of Seroquel, 200 milligrams of Zoloft, 20 milligrams of Abilify. And they sent me home because I was starting to get really comfortable there. I mean, I'd been there 7 months, and I, at that point, wasn't ready to go back to school. I was starting to cut worse because school was making me nervous or more anxious than the school at the residential. I had carved some words into my hand. They're pretty bad. You can still see them now, but I usually cover them up with makeup. But, so they sent me, and then I thought I was better when I was at home, so I went off my medication, into the hospital, switched my medication, out of the hospital, didn't work, into the hospital, transferred to state hospital, put me on lithium, into residential, horrible residential, took me off lithium, out of the hospital, just on Zoloft, into the hospital, hallucinations, out of the hospital, into the hospital, state hospital, off all medications. So they put me, I was on no medications for about 5 months out of the hospital. They put me, when I got, well, in between then I was having severe and manic episode. Almost didn't get to go to Alaska because I spent all my money to go to Alaska that I was saving up during my manic episode. And so I went back into the hospital and they put me on Abilify, and I was like, don't put me on Abilify. It does not help me. I want to get out of here. I want to get back home so I can get through this. I don't want to be back in residential for a long time. Of course, they're like, oh no, let's just try Abilify. These doctors just kind of doubted me, I guess. I don't really know how to put it, but I wasn't on Abilify. I was on Abilify. 12.5 milligrams, of course. It wasn't helping. But it relieved my coming off some of my psychotic symptoms. Like, it wasn't like some of my psychotic symptoms, like hear my name called. But it relieved that, but it didn't stabilize my mood. I was still pretty angry and suicidal. So they put me in residential, and, well, between then, like, I had some really difficult things happen with my family, so they put me in residential, and my original doctor from my first ever hospital stay was there, and she did my medication, and she's like, oh yeah, you have bipolar disorder, like, we're thinking bipolar 1, but we're going to diagnose you bipolar NOS because insurance issues. If I were to get, like, insurance in the future, if they diagnosed me with bipolar 1, I'd have a pre-existing condition, which would hinder my chances of getting good insurance when I grow up. So, I do not diagnose me with that until I am over 18 and have my own insurance. Another story for later. And they put me on, right now I'm on Abilify, 5 milligrams, 2.5 in the morning, 2.5 at night. I'm on lithium, 900 milligrams, 300 milligrams in the morning, 600 milligrams at night. Lamictal, 150 milligrams, 50 milligrams in the morning, 100 milligrams at night. Vistural, 1 as needed, 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams at night, always, for sleep. Methylamphetamine, otherwise known as Ritalin, for ADHD in the morning, 27 milligrams. Oh, that's also Concerta. Also, I'm on, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Seems like a lot. I think, I can't remember. I'm thinking there's another one, but methylphenidate. Yeah, I don't quite know. It's still a little. I just take them. That's all I do. Just take them. Unless I forget. And I've only forgotten once since I've been out of the hospital. So, yeah. What medications worked for you guys? What medications didn't? Have you been on the many medications that I've been on? What are your side effects? Oh, yeah, I have, like, no side effects at all for my medication, which is pretty good. Yeah, just leave your comments below. Subscribe, like, comment. Sorry I haven't been on in a while. Like I said, I've been on vacation, and I just got back a couple days ago, and I'm really jet-lagged and tired. So, yeah. Oh, perfectingnormal.tumblr.com. Hope to make another video soon. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Bye.